All right. So welcome back, everybody. Quickly, let's move further to what we are looking at today. Last time we've looked at a lot. We looked at, I also gave us assignments on inventory valuation, inventory control, and so on. We also looked at when you are tracking your insurance, right? Or you're tracking your renewal documents for your vehicles. Okay, if you are the one in charge of vehicle, you need to keep tab of all these things. We went further to look at the multiplication. Okay, we've done this one before. Then we look at the loan tracking. We also looked at it and we saw that the only thing they were doing in this computation was only the loan amount that the person took, and then they now said the person is going to pay back in the next 48 days. Okay, so it means that our calculation is based on the information that is here. So that's why we're able to use an absolute reference for D2. So cell D2, we use an absolute reference for it. Okay, and that is how we were able to generate. We divided this thing by 48. We're able to get the equal sum that they're intended to pay in the 48-month period. We also went further to say if they started with paying the first month, they will pay this amount. But you needed to put a formula that when you get to the next month, it's going to calculate both the one that they have paid in the first month with the one that they are paying now, so like that becomes the total that has been paid. So they use a sum. So now this sum now, we are not just summing this and this. So what they are doing, they are making this one constant because it's the one that the first of all paid. This is the first amount that they paid, right? So they set to this one, which is brought here. So what we are putting this on, we now say, okay, the amount that this paid first, we made it an absolute reference, and then the next that they're going to pay will now be like, we are saying that amount that they started paying to the next phase. So we put a column at the middle. And I told you, whenever you have a column, we are talking about everything between B3 to B4. So that is what that column represents. So we did that also. We also went further to look at the AND function. And we told us that the AND function is more or less like the logical function as well. But the only difference with the AND function is that unlike the if function, you don't have three things. You only have a bit. Okay, somebody's hand is up. Yeah, I can hear you. Go on. Yeah. So I guess that was a mistake. All right, so let's continue. If you have any question, kindly raise your hand and let's go on. Okay, so I believe that was a mistake, so that is fine. If you're just joining for the first time, no issue. I'm just quickly doing a recap. When we get to the main topic for today, we are going to calm down to learn it, okay? But let's just rush this one because this is like a recap, and I don't want to start repeating what we've covered before. So this is the AND and the OR function. I told us that when you are using the AND function is also a logical function, okay? It returns one value. If you are using the AND, all the things you set, okay, must give us true for this thing to return true. That means everything must be correct. Like if you are saying today, for instance, today is Monday. You set that, okay? Excel will look at it. Is today actually Monday? You say yes, you tick it. You also say time is 7:12. So the two things or whatever you set for Excel, everything must be true for when you're using the AND function for AND to return the true answer. But if one of the things you set with happens to be false, the AND function that you use will return false. Sorry. And then the opposite is the OR function. The OR function is the opposite of the AND function. So let's continue with that and let's see how far we can go. So we are just trying to revise for people that were on the call the last time. So now the next thing we also looked at is we looked at the count, and I showed us that when you are using count, I also showed us how to apply it. you may have like different things in your worksheet, and then you are not sure how many numbers they are, and you needed them for a formula. I gave an example that when you have names of staff, right? This staff member, they are people that we are paying salary, and let's assume we pay salary monthly. So the gross salary of each of those staff, we need to know them at the end of the year. That okay, how much gross is the total of this person? How much gross? How many months is this person work? Because it's not everybody that actually applied for the job. We stay true to the end of the period. So don't assume that the gross you're going to use is going to be the first month gross. So people will drop out on the way. So we are trying to calculate. Maybe you're an auditor, and then you need to like, okay, use the little data you have. Let's say the company, they don't know how to calculate or how to get the, they don't know how to get the, what's it called? The payee computation. And then you need to calculate it for them. So they will give you the gross salary, and with the gross salary, you need to calculate their payee, okay? So you need to know how many months is this gross salary that these people have. Once you're able to know the numbers of months, then you can also apply that in your consolidated relief. Remember, this consolidated relief that they gave us is supposed to be applicable for a period of 12 months. However, if the gross salary that you are using is not up to 12 months, you need to also prorate it. So we're able to look at that. Then you as well, you also need to go and prorate your tax table, because the tax table they're giving you, they say first 800,000 is at 0%. Okay, it's also for annual. In a situation whereby somebody did not do 12 months, you can't use 12-month gross for the person. As well, you can't also use the consolidated relief annually for the person. You can also not use the tax table. You can also not use the annual one for the person, okay? So you must take note of that. So that is how to use the count, okay? So know the numbers of months that the person worked. Just put your equals to and type count. Open your bracket, then select the places that the person the data are, all the places. So the place is going to be from beginning of this work where the growth started. So if you are summing, it's going to be from all these places like this. You want to check how many months was listed here. Once you get it for one person, you can quickly apply that formula, and it goes all the way down for the other people. Okay. We also look at how to also check for, what do we call it? We call it precedence. How to check for dependence. Okay. So if there's a formula, and then you need to ask if that formula that was used, if it covered all the data. Okay, so so whoever video that is on, kindly off your video. You are distracting others. Mola Joto, kindly off your video. Okay, thank you. So let's continue now. So what you now need to do is that you need to, what I was saying, so you want to check, because I also showed us the other day that when you are using formula, like if you want to sum, right, there's an easy way to sum. Let me delete all this data here. There's an easy way to quickly sum. Just press Alt. Go to your Alt on your keyboard. Select the area you want to sum. I want to sum all these places. I want my total to show in all these places, right? Just go to your keyboard, hold your Alt key, and then press equals to Alt equals. So once you press it, automatically it sums everything that you need. Now, to now ask yourself, is this my summation? Is it well captured? Did it capture all the places where I needed to capture? I know that I need to capture from January to December. So data are supposed to be from January, okay, from January all the way to December. So what will I do? I will now go and check. Go and check for precedence. What you do, hold your control key, and then you will now check for, there is this bracket, but it's not the main open bracket. There's this open bracket that looks like, that is stylish. It's beside letter P on my keyboard. I don't know where it is on your keyboard, but it's beside letter P on my keyboard. Or what is it? That's where I would say, but it's like, I will show us let me quickly show us that what I'm talking about. So let me look at this. There is this is it. So let me make it bolder so that we can see what I'm referring to. So it's not the normal, it's not that normal open bracket I'm talking about. I'm referring to this. This is what I'm talking about. So you see on your keyboard this. So hold your control key and then press this stuff, okay? And then you are able to get what you want to get. So that is that. So the next thing we'll now do, let me go back to default. Okay, so when I come back to here, we see that this our total. We need to press Control, then that open bracket I told us about. When you press it, you can see that truly your addition was well captured. It's adding all the areas you wanted to add. Once you are able to determine this, it's fine. Then you now, once you do that, and you know that all the things that you get here is going to be the same, everything is going to be the same. So here also is also doing the same thing. Fine. So if you want to ask, what are the areas that I added? Press Control, that's open bracket. But if you want to also ask that, okay, this is my data. Where is it feeding into? Press Control, close bracket. So Control, close bracket, it will tell you where it is adding to. You can see where it went to. It came to this place. So I told us the other day that when you are trying to know the summation that you have, what are the areas in the worksheet that you added? You press Control, open bracket. You can see this thing now. This is it, Control, open bracket, this is it. So you press that. However, if you want to now see a data and ask that, this data, where did they use it for calculation? Just go to any of the data, provided that it has been used for any calculation, just press Control, close bracket, and to tell you that, okay, that data is actually feeding into total. Mute your mics. Okay, so that's that. So we always use count for numbers. Then for text, we use counter. So you just add a to it, counter. So if you are using for numbers, it's just count. So equal to count, open your bracket, select the area you want to count, okay? There are data there, how many places you count it, how many places in this box do we have data, you count it. Then if you want to now do for text, put counter, not normal count, you put a after the count, okay? Then you select the areas that the information are, and that's how you're able to get the numbers of information that are there. If your mic is unmuted, kindly mute it. I will not tell you again. Okay? So this is the next thing we are going to look at. The next thing we want to look at is COUNTIF. So we are going to be very fast. So we are looking at what we are looking at today. We are looking at the statistical functions. Okay, statistical functions is what we are actually looking at. So the statistical function is what tells us how, when you are adding, subtracting, you are looking at the statistical function. You are looking at average, count, COUNTIF, the second one, okay, and so on and so forth. So let's now come to the beginning of this worksheet. What do we do when we are using COUNTIF? So COUNTIF is actually a statistical function. That is the group that it belongs to, the statistical function. What is the use? It counts the numbers of cells within a range that meets a given criteria. So it counts the numbers of cells within a range that gives a certain criteria. So this is what we want to do. So we now say that we want to use COUNTIF. So what we're trying to do is that we are trying to say, okay, count, when you are trying to say count from year to year, okay, then you say, how many M do you see? Okay, so you are trying to ask it, how many M do we see? Alternatively, you can have scores of students, okay, and then you have already graded them. This one has A, this one has B, C, and all that. So you want to know how many people actually have A in the assessment. You want to know the numbers of people that have A in the assessment. What you need to do is that you need to use COUNTIF. Alternatively, you can use it for any other thing, provided that you know what you're doing. And that thing is that you can decide to use it for when your vehicle, you have a sheet, a template for our vehicle. If our vehicle is actually expired, there's a template that I showed us that can always help us to track that. Okay, so you can see here we have expired. Some will be saying okay, some will be saying expired. So if you want to count how many numbers of vehicle is actually expired, you can just go and use count if. Then when you say count, select the range of place you want to count. You want to count all the data that are here. So you want to know how many numbers of vehicle are expired. You can quickly come here. We now say equal to, right? We now say count if, right? We open our brackets. We now select the range of the place, where and where. We want it to count from year to year, okay? So what are we looking for when it counts from year to year? What are we looking for, right? I guess you are going to put, you're going to put a comma, I guess so. Why you put a comma, okay? We now put, I told us about when you're trying to get a text. You're trying to get a text, right? We're asking how many of these places we selected contains expired, is a vehicle expired. So you now put your, open column. When you are using text, you are going to use double. I told us the other day, if it's text, you are using double. But if it's the name of a worksheet, you are using only one open column for the beginning and one open column for the end. But if it's a text, you have to use two double column. So we now we want to say, okay, how many of this vehicle is still okay? And how many of it has expired? So I think with that, we can close our brackets and we click on enter. You can see that here, what we just did now, we just asked it. In this page, we can have 1 million numbers of vehicle stuff that is still okay. We can have 1 million numbers of vehicle that has expired. You want to know at a glance how many has expired. So you can even just put this formula here at the bottom here every time, so that when the thing starts, and we can now do another one. Let's now also come here. Let's now replicate this, our formula. Let's replicate it. So we want to keep one for the numbers of vehicle that is okay. So we want to keep one for the numbers of vehicle that has failed, that is expired. So we now come over here. We now say expired. Inside this our okay, you come and put expired. So we now click on enter. So it's going to tell us that okay, 4 at a glance. So here we are saying okay, the numbers of vehicle that is okay. So we can put here number of vehicle. Okay, we already at a glance, we know every time it is continuing to go and recalculate. Every time it will be recalculating the number of vehicle that has expired. So we now say numbers of vehicle that has expired. Okay, so we have it as 4. So at every point in time, when you come to your worksheet, you open it. At every point in time, you quickly know the numbers of vehicle that is still okay. You know the numbers of vehicle that has expired, so that you can quickly tell them that okay, we need to renew so vehicle. Go and look for the vehicles that has expired. Go and look for them and quickly go and raise alarm that okay, let us renew those vehicles. So I have to come here to show us how to make use of that count if. So let's continue. After count if, which we have learned, okay, here we are using this, right? We want to know how many of these people, the name, we have names here, right? We are asking how many of these people are female, how many of them are males, right? So we now come here, this is a male, this is female. So when you are using a letter or a text in a formula, I told us if you are using it for the name of a worksheet, you only use one open quote, right? But by using it for not something that is not a name of a worksheet, you are using double quote. We now come over here, we now say equal to, we want to count the numbers of males that we have. We want to count the numbers of females that we have. We now say equal to, we now say count if, we open our bracket, we now select the range. The range is from, where's the data? Data is from G3, right, to G6. From G3 to G6, that's where data is. So we now set it and then we put a comma, then We now want to know the numbers that are made. You now say, okay, you open your quote, you put your M, you close the quote, and then you now close the bracket. So I believe that we all understand how to use count if. Let's now see if we can also use it in a bigger data. Okay, so we have a data here, okay? So let's quickly learn what this data is telling us about. So here now, in this data, we could be having different staff. Okay, here are staffs, right? And then we already know that we have technicians, we have, so we can say this is their, is it, what do they call it in when you're doing salary? Designation. Some of them are operators, some of them are technicians, some of them are professionals, some of them are like that, like that. So you want to know how many technicians do we have? How many operators do we have? How many Ds do we have? So what you do is that you already know that this job title, we don't have, the only people we have, either in your company, you have accountants, you have supervisors, you have technicians, you have managers. So at a glance, you want to say, okay, in this our company, how many, let's say it is almost end of the year, okay? And then you want to make provisions for Christmas bonus. You want to now say, okay, for operators, there's a certain amount that I want to set aside as bonus for operators. For supervisors, there's an amount. For technicians, there's an amount. For managers, there's an amount. For professionals, there's an amount. For assistants, there's also an amount. For cook, there's an amount. So when I say, okay, let's try and get the numbers of these people so that we can say, okay, if we are giving each operator, we are giving them 10,000 as a bonus, we can easily say 10,000 times 159 to know the amount we have to set aside for operators. So what you simply need to do is that we want to say, okay, how many technicians do we have? You don't need to start sorting your sheet. You know, there's a way you can sort this thing, and then you now sort it alphabetically. Then you have the total technician, you have the total, this one, you have the, no, we can do that, but that's not what we want to do. We want to, at a glance, know the numbers that we have. How many operators do we have? How many supervisors? How many technicians? How many managers? How many professionals? How many assistants? How many crew? What you just simply do is that just say equal to, so just come here, this is operator, just say equal to, right? The type will count, because you want to be specific about who is going to go and count. We don't want to just count the whole sheet. We could have, since this one is a text, right? We could have just used counter and count the total number of text in the worksheet. But that's not what we want to do. We don't want to count the numbers of text in this our column G. That's not what we want to do. We want to be specific. How many technicians do we have? So we now say equal to count if, okay? Then we open our bracket. Then we now set the data range. We are checking our data from here all through to this place. This is where they look at how many, look at the numbers of data that we have. Numbers of data, massive. You see? So continue to go to the end of the worksheet. Okay? So this is where the data ends, right? So since this is where the data ends, then once you have set the data, you now put your comma. Put your comma. Comma, is that comma that I put? Yes. So now, what are we looking for? We are looking for operator. So because operator is a text, what do? We do the open column, the open quote, sorry, open quote. Then we now type operator. We type operator. Then we now close the quotes. Once you close the quote, then you also close the bracket, and then you now hit your enter. Automatically, it's going to tell you the numbers of operators that we have, which is what? It is 159. Then another thing, we just simply continue to adjust the formula. And remember what I told us. I said, whenever you want we are using the range of this data. Is range of data we are using. And we don't want this Excel to adjust our formula. We can simply come and lock our data range. So lock it, put your $sign before them, okay? Put your $sign before both of them. You can either press F4 or just put your $sign before your letters and your number. You can easily put your $sign before your data and your number. So once you have done that, okay, you can easily now take this data you can quickly copy this thing, okay, and then put it in other places. Put it in all these places. Once you put it in other places, Control V it. Once you break Control V, you see that it's giving us the same thing because everything is the same. But the only thing we need to do now, we need to now change the what is inside, the operator we have inside, to change it from operator to who are we trying to get? We are trying to get, let me undo, or let me just press enter first. Okay, we're trying to get supervisor. So we come over here, press your F2 to edit the stuff. Once you press your F2, then you come to where the information are. Then you now say, what do I call it? Is it supervisor? You now come here and put supervisor. Okay, you press enter. We went to the other one also. We go to the other one, press your F2 to edit the cell. Then come over here. I think what we have over there should be, is it technician? I think so. So here you have technician. Technician. Okay. Then you press enter. Then the next one you have manager. Press your F2 to edit the cell. When you press F2 to edit the cell, then you now put in the bracket, we have manager. Okay. Then the next one, press your F2 again to edit the cell. Then now go to where the thing is. What do we have in that place? After manager, what do we have? I didn't see that one though. After manager, we have what do we have here? Oh?
Professional.
Are you sure it's operational?
Professional.
We've done operation before now. Is it
professional?
Professional. Yes, professional.
Professional. I think I was hearing operationals. Okay, thank you very much. It's professional that we have over there. Thank you. Then also press enter. Then we press F2 again. Then we also come and edit these from what it is. I think that should be like, is it assistance now? Assistant. Thank you, everybody, for the assistant. Then the last one is cook. We simply press our F2 and come to where the data is, so where the text is, and change it to cook. And then we press our enter. So you can see that here, we don't have any assistant. That means there's no assistant here. Is it possible? It's either, you know, here, look at the assistant that we have here. It's different from, yeah, look at it. Our spelling is actually wrong. Yeah, am I the one that is wrong with my assistant? Okay, assistant. Okay, let's use the assistant that they use. So we have AWSIS, assistant. AWS, okay, I made a mistake. Assistant. All right, so that is it. So that is what this thing is always spelling sensitive. When you are using this, make sure what you are using here is the same thing that you are spelling. If you don't spell it correctly, you will not get the answer that you're actually looking for. Are we together? So we've been able to look at using this in this place, and it's fine. Let's go to the bottom. Let's simply go to the bottom quickly and see what other things can we achieve from here. So let's go to the bottom. Okay, we'll go to the bottom and let's see. Let me quickly scroll downwards because we don't want to waste time here. Yeah, so these are the things down here. Okay, here now we can also do for numbers, right? We can also do for, okay, so yeah, so that's that. Let me see. Yeah, we didn't do anything here. Okay, so we have seen the way we can do COUNTIF. We can use COUNTIF for that. Okay, we can use COUNTIF for that. Now let's now move further. I think these are just answers, okay, numbers and all those stuff. So let's now go further to the next sheet, which is COUNTIFs. Okay, so here now, we're now using different COUNTIFs. We are using COUNTIF, different one. So let's check what needs to be done. Okay, let's check what needs to be done. So when you are trying to, so now that is COUNTIF. COUNTIF, that is singular. But when you now have COUNTIFs, you add S to it. What are we trying to achieve? Let's go and check. So here we have salesperson, we have David, Bookie, we have Sule, we have Lewis, right? Then we have exceeded spaghetti quota. We have yes, yes, no, and so on and so forth. Exceeded Indomie quota, yes, 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 no, and so forth. Exceeded Honeywell quota, yes, yes. So when you're using COUNTIFs, what do you intend to achieve? Okay, so COUNTIFs count how many times Lewis and Gucci exceeded the same quota for spaghetti, Indomie, and Honeywell. So here, what are we looking? Let's look at what we have. But before we do that, let's come here. Okay, oh, sorry. Let's come to the side and see that here we are not only trying to, I told us that at times we just want to be specific about only one thing. Maybe how many years do we have in the whatever, right? How many years do we have for only one item? Probably for only technicians. How many technicians do we have? Okay, how many this, how many that? So you can also let all these things to show how many years do we have for different range of people. So if you are looking at more than one, if you are looking at more than talking about how many times did David have years. If you are trying to look at how many times did David have years, we can decide to do what we want to do. How many times but here I want to ask, how many times do all these people, we can select the numbers. Let's check the first formula. The formula is saying COUNTIFs, plural, COUNTIFs. We now say B2, what's our B2? Our B2 is here. So this is our B2, right? B2, right? To D2. What is our D2? B2 to D2. This is our D2, right? So when I say that, okay, how many times did David get what? Yes. No, either inside exceeds spaghetti quota, probably we are giving them targets. Go and sell spaghetti. Go and sell Indomie. Go and sell Honeywell. Do they meet their target? How many times did they exceed the spaghetti? Did they exceed the spaghetti quota? He said David did not. He exceeded spaghetti quota. However, he didn't exceed Indomie quota. He also did not exceed Honeywell quota. So you want to count how many times do we have years in all these places that we gave him tax. So he only achieved only 1 year. I think it should be once. So we just come over here and say equal to, because we are looking at different ways. We just say equal to, right? We now say count if, then we now add s. COUNTIFs. We now open a bracket, right? Then we set the range as we normally do. We are setting the range. Where is the range? We are setting the range from here to here. Fine. Once we have gotten that range, then we put a comma. When we put a comma, then what do you want to determine? Do you want to determine the numbers of times that it did not exceed, or do you want to determine the numbers of times that it exceeded? We now put our double quotes. When we put our double quotes, we put our yes is what we want to determine. We close our double quotes, and then we close the bracket, click on enter. And it's telling you that the numbers of time he had yes across those places is only once. You only had yes for exceeding spaghetti quota. It did not exceed for Indomie. It did not also exceed for Honeywell. So remember, we only check for yes, right? Only yes, right? We could also do for no as well, okay? We could also do for no as well. So what else do we want to also look at? So let's come over here and look at what I put in the bracket. I said, count how many times David exceeded a sale quota for spaghetti, Indomie, and Honeywell. So how many times is that? Only one time. So we also want to count now. We want to go and check this range. B2, which is our B2 to where? B5. B2 to B5 now. So now we are doing across board. We are doing from B2 to B5. So we are trying to say, okay, this one we count how many salespeople exceeded both their spaghetti, Indomie, and yes, spaghetti, Indomie, and the other one. So we have to do that. So what do? First of all, set the area as you normally set, right? Set the area as you normally set. So we've covered, okay, it's only two places that I want to look at. We want to look at for B, and under B we have spaghetti. Also, we also have C. Now, under C we have Indomie. So it's only spaghetti and Indomie that we have to check. So what do? We now say equal to COUNTIFS. We now say our B2, which is from here, across to B5, right? We now put a comma. We put our yes. We also now put our comma again. We now start again from our C2 to our C5. We also want to get the numbers of times that they got yes. It means that if you want to also do for D, you simply come and say D2 to D5. We now put a comma. We also put yes. So we want to get how many people got yeses. How many yeses did we get in all? So we now come over here. We now say, let's put our answer right here. We now come over here. We now say equal to. We are starting everything with equal to, right? We now say count ifs, open our brackets. We now say we are checking the total place from B2 to B5. We put our comma. What we want to check? We want to check whether there is yes. So we open our quote, we put yes, we close our quote, right? We put another comma. We now also want to check from this range, from year to year. Put our comma. How many people still got yes? We put yes. Then we close our quote. Then we also close our bracket, and then we hit enter. So it's telling us that, okay, from here now, from here, right, how many people got yes across board? So how many people? So we are selecting these two places, right? We are saying that, okay, how many people did not only get yes did not only get yes under spaghetti, but also got yes under Indomie? That's what that is trying to tell us. So we now discover that, okay, there's a yes here, but there's no yes here. There is yes here, there is yes here, there is yes here, there is yes here, there is no here, there is yes here. So it's only two people that got yes across. It's only two people that got yes across the two. So that's what we use this one for. So you need to also learn it and know what that is doing. So you say it counts how many salespeople exceeded both their spaghetti and Indomie quota. And the number of people that exceeded both of them is only 2. The last one I want to do is this one. The last one we have to also do for also do for from B5, right? From B5 to D5, and also from B3 to D3, I guess. So we are trying to check that in these two places, like from here to here, right? How many times did David and Louis get yes? That's what we're trying to get, okay? How many times did David and Louis get yes? So we'll now come over here. We'll now say, yeah, we'll now say equal to. We say equal to, right? We now see that we start with count ifs. We open our brackets. When we say count, we open our bracket, we now set the range. We want to get, like, this is the total of Louis. This is Louis's data. We put our comma. We now open our quotes. What are we trying to find? We're trying to find yes. We close the quote. Then we put another comma. We now go and set another range. We're trying to get for David. We select all the range of David. We put our comma. They want to get how many years did they have across board. We close our quote. We close our bracket. No, this is all the. So we close our bracket. Then we hit our on enter. And then you are seeing that here, oh, what is happening? So we want to see that, okay, here, how many times did they get, so this is Bookie and Lewis. Oh, Bookie and Lewis is what we're supposed to do. Did I, okay, this is B3, not B2. Okay, I was doing B2. Let's check again. So this is B2 I did, rather than doing B3. So let's change this one to B3, okay? So this is B3, and this is B3, D3, sorry. So what we're asking is that when you are checking the result of Lewis, right? Lewis, how many times did he get yes? And his yes coincide with the yes that Bookie got. So Bookie got yes under spaghetti. Did Lewis get yes under spaghetti? No. Bookie get yes under Indomie. Did Bookie get yes under Indomie? Yes. Bookie gets no, yeah. And this guy gets yes. So how many times did their information match each other? If only once. So that is what we use count ifs for. Count ifs. Understand it. Count ifs, that is what we use it for. So we know what count if is. Count if, we know what count if is. We need to get the numbers of operations here. We need to get the numbers of professional. But if you're not using count ifs, it's a different ball game. Okay. So I will not assume that you've gotten the answer. I will still share this material with us so that we can always go back to it. The more you practice it, the more better you become. So now let's assume you start practicing this for 3 months. Now, somebody that knows Excel more than you in your company before, by the time both of you now sit down on the same table to now do the same work that you have been doing before, you discover that the way at which you will do it, the confidence that you have will be different from the confidence that you normally have before. Why? Because they say practice, continuous practice makes perfect. So if you want to become a wizard or a witch on Excel, practice Excel anytime you have a spare time to practice. So just make sure that you learn one thing every day from Excel. So now that is that. So other tips that we're going to look at. So let's other tips that we're going to look at. We're going to be looking at there's something they call proper. So now to change case, okay, numbers starting with 0, decimals ending with 0, calculation involving numbers with let me see what is at the front. Calculation involving numbers with unit, freezing rows and column, repeating row eddies on every page, and inserting page number. So this is what we feel that we should learn under this place, okay? Decimals ending with zeros, and to change case. If you want to change case, probably something is in uppercase before, you want to change it to lowercase, and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is equal to proper. So let's check what proper is going to give us. We have January here. So let's now come over here and now put proper. So yeah, we want to put here now. This place we put January, right? Now we have to now get proper for it. We now come here. We now say okay, equal to. We say equal to, right? Then we now say proper. Proper. We open a bracket, and then what do we want to get? B2. You want to make B2, then you close your column and press enter. Sorry, let me do that again. Yeah, proper. All right, so let me, I think something is fundamentally wrong here, which I need to check well. I'm coming here. Let me check for something. Hold on. So what I'm going to do for these places that we have now, I need to, okay, so this our B2, okay, what it's doing is that this our proper that we have here, we are trying to change from what we have to something else. So let me check. All right. So what I will do is that I will come back to here proper B1. So this is our B1, B1. So it is trying to tell you that you are trying to repeat something. Something is here. Something can be in here, right? Like it, uh, what is equal to, is equal to this. Click enter. You're going to get this. Okay? You can also say, let me delete this one. It's equal to proper. So let's go down. This is proper. So yeah, is the same. It converts a text string to proper case. The first letter is in each word is case, and all other letters is lowercase. So that is what it's trying to do. It means that you try to, let's assume here, yeah. So what he's trying to do is that when you say equal to proper, and then you select whatever you are trying to do, what it does is that it will make this thing to be where it's supposed to be. For instance, you could be typing something in a place, and everything is lowercase. So let's do something. Let me cancel something. Let's make it to be lowercase. Jan, okay, we have January. Oh, that's it. So it's make it okay. Let's change it to now because it's January. January is the pockets. But let's try and see if there's a way we can have without. Okay, here we have uppercase. We have smaller there. So let's now come here. Let's now say equal to. We now say proper. Proper. You can even click on the proper that you are seeing at the bottom. Click on it. So once you double click on it, okay, then you now put the text. The text is this. This is the text. Okay, that's where the text is. So you want the text to, you want it to perform certain action. In that place, in J3, our J is small letter. Let's close this thing and press enter. You can see that here it has changed this from being a lowercase, it changed it to appear the first letter is going to be uppercase and every other thing will be lowercase. So we can do that for each case. So KS and all that. So with that said, I think we will come back to this place later, and we need to explain certain things to you from here. Okay, so all these are it, but let's assume, you know, I also just give us like some pre-made formulas that I some pre-made names that give us the other. In case you want to that you we have done, we have done. So let's so and feel that whether lowercase, they are all lowercase. So you don't want it to appear this way. You have to change the lowercase. That's also this way. You want to change them quickly. Okay, and you don't want to start doing them one after the other. Manually changing them. Come for anyone you want to do. Let's right? You can start with the bottom line. It go and select what you want to pay. You can see here, in that right? Having small letters. So what we can do is that you can just double click and it's going to make everything the right way supposed to show. That's we are trying to use it for either names is supposed to start with capital letter. So that is for nouns. Name are supposed to start with capital letter. Dates, January, February,
Sorry, please, I can't hear anything again. Oh, am I the only one, please, or is my network?
You are not the only one now.
I can't
not
see, I
the
can't hear
what's going on?
anything.
The network has been fluctuating.
I think the certificate is locked out, probably when it comes in.
We'll call Mombasa.
You are not the only one. Oh. I'm not hearing too. Hello? Hello? I'm not hearing anything anymore.
Let's hold on for him. I think it's up.
You are not alone. I think it's a general problem.
Please, can somebody contact the convener?
I think we should wait for facilitator to comment as we are waiting. Okay, this is just a general problem.
Mr. Olu, please can you mute your mic? Please.
Hello, sorry, it was my network. Oh, can you hear me? Can
I
you hear?
can hear you now. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, it was my network. I didn't even know I was logged out, but I had to battle with the network, and I'm back now. So let
Ah,
me, yeah, it was my network, MTN, and this is the first time such is happening. So I wouldn't have known that there is need for backup. So if I may ask, at what point did you stop hearing me? At what exercise were we when you stopped hearing me? Who can mind
the
me?
it's at the point where you were using the proper function.
Oh, at the proper function. Okay.
Yes, you know, you started the month, the writing of the month with a small letter. So
Yes.
you now selected it using proper function to make the first letter uppercase.
Okay. Okay, so no problem. So we are going to continue with that. But before we do that, just give me 2 minutes. Let me quickly um put on something. Hold on, so that we can have a proper class afterwards. Is that fine by us? Just 2 minutes.
No problem, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay, sorry, I'm back now. So yeah, so what I want to say, when you're using proper is used only when you are trying to change something from a case to another case. There are certain words that must begin with capital letter. So those kind of words, let's assume you have those words in your worksheet and you've done a mistake by typing them anyhow. No issues. So what you need to do is that just use that proper formula, and automatically proper will help you to correct whatever you have done, and then you're going to have everything correctly. So one good example I'm going to give us now is, you can see this is January, this is the month of the year, and most times month of the year must begin with uppercase. So even if I want to put all these things here with lowercase, it will not still work. So what do I need to do? Let's use our inbuilt name. There was a day I was teaching us and I told us how to how to create inbuilt, pre-made inbuilt items. So the other day we were able to do names. So let's put John. Now, normally names should be capital letter. However, I think that day that we are doing it, we made them all lowercase. So let's have all the names. Here are names. Because they are pre-made names, when I start from John and I drag down, I'll save Peter in the workbook, I'll save Dele, I'll save Taiwo, I'll save Bola, and so on and so forth. So if you don't know how to make pre-made names or pre-made item or list, simply go to your file. When you go to your file, then go straight to options. When you click on options, then click on advanced. You see advanced on the left hand side, click on advanced. When you click on advanced, then scroll to the bottom, to where you will see what let me go to the bottom and show us edit column list. So when you see this edit column list, then click on it, and whatever name you want to be using all the time, reoccurring, whatever name you want to use all the time, or whatever number, or whatever, no, don't put number, because numbers are just 1, 2, 3, and whatever you need all the time. Probably you need them to see list of all your staffs, their names. Come and put them here. Okay. Then once I put them here, all you need to do is click on add. When you click on add, click on OK, click on OK again, and then you exit. So let's try and put another name with those names. So let's put another name. We have okay, but I just want to show us so that you understand. Let's put state, the state of the state and capitals. Let's say we have Edo State, right? We have which other state?
You
Lagos
can't see your
State.
screen.
Let me
Your
make
screen is just showing a
You
J.
can't see your screen, sir. You can't see screen, no.
Okay, you can see my screen. Oh, sorry.
Yes, it's just showing
Yes,
J.
yes, sir.
Okay, we'll share it now. Sorry. We'll share it. I think it has to do with the network again. Okay, yeah. So let me share it again now, so that we can see it properly. If it pops up, let me know. I think it should be the network. I'm trying to show the screen now, but yeah. Can you see it now? Can you see it now?
No,
No.
You can't.
no.
You can't see. Wow.
I can't see.
It's the
I can't
network.
see your screen.
Okay, so I guess it's the network. What will I do? I'm coming over.
I think the network is not friendly today.
Sir, can you log out and log in back, sir?
Okay, let me do that. Let me do that. Thank you. Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I can.
Okay. I'm sorry about the network. The network is very poor today. I want to suggest that probably we'll stop the call here so that we can continue, because we may not achieve much with this network. So pardon me. Can we do it for tomorrow again? Or let me see if I can still share my screen. If it's possible, then we can continue with the class. So if I've shared my screen, I can see the screen. Let me know if you can see it. If you cannot see it, then probably we'll need to reschedule. So you can see my screen. Indicate you can see the screen.
No, it's not showing.
Even now?
All right, we
No.
can see. All right, we can. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to see my screen now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We can see
I
You
your
can see
screen,
my
sir.
screen. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Let's continue there. Since you can see my screen, thank you. Okay, so as I was saying, I said there are some if you want to create a pre-made list, probably you have some names that you use on a recurrence basis, okay? Use them always. So you can make a list of those names, okay? So how do you do that? What I did is let me delete all these things that are here. You may not see the way I put them. So let me delete them here. So there are some made lists that I have already set, okay, in the Excel. So it's one of them is John. So I'm just going to press John here. When I press John, then I will now drag it down because they are pre-made lists. Anywhere I drag to is where the names will appear to. Okay, I think the names are how many of them? So I'm repeating John again. So the names are John, Peter, Dele, Taiwo, and Bola. So I don't need to do John again. So it will be a duplication. So what do I need to do? If you don't know how to make a list, this is how to do it. Go to your file, the file tab, scroll down to options. You click on options. Then
Can't see your screen, sir. I
advanced.
see me J.
Okay, you can see my screen again. Is it everybody?
It's better now.
Please, I can't see it though.
Okay, so I guess there's a network.
And the voice is not audible, even though your voice is not audible at all. So I don't know.
Okay, what about now? Can you hear me with my voice now?
Yes,
No, it's tracking.
We can hear your voice. Your voice is coming out.
Okay, so yeah, so let's stop the class today. We shall continue tomorrow. So I guess the network is against us today. Thank you everybody for your time. I'm sorry for the network that is challenging. You don't need to waste more time on the call since we're not able to achieve what we want to achieve today. We'll continue tomorrow. Do our night, everybody.
Hello, sir. Please, I don't know. I want to join the group, but it's full.
What?
Like I want to join the group, but it's
Hello,
full.
sir.
The group is full.
To go on the what?
The group is full. The group is full. Okay.
Okay, no problem. I will share another link that you can use to join the group. So just, do you have my number? Can you chat me up?
Oh, okay. I will try to get it. I will get it from the person that sent the link.
Okay, so you can get my number then. I can add you or send you the new link that we use it. Okay, so on that note, let's call it a night because the network is poor. You have a lovely night rest, everybody.
Thank you,
Nice,
sir.
sir.
Good night, huh? Thank you very much.